likely that I'll ever get my shit together. Half my life I felt like I was under the weather. All my future endeavors are far from done. Getting fucked up in the train tracks, never wanna take those days back. Barely ever slept back then, that's the thing, nothing's changed. I know, I was young, I was living my life like a goddamn idiot. Started shit and we finished it, at least I lived my life with style. I no longer feel so proud. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel the fire, it burns. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. You know I miss the boys, they're out in Santa Cruz. Some days wish I lived on the moon, never had to meet another douchebag. Think back to when I met the boys, age 19. We were living on Chandler Street, fucking it up in December. Never could have guessed after all the times we cheated dead, I'll be standing here with my head, my heart, my spirit, someone insane. Really should have guessed after all the times that we got faded, that my brain might get downgraded. Thank God, I think I'm feeling alright. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I feel the fire, it burns. I feel a fire again, I feel a spark inside my heart, I feel alive again. I just got sick of the lose, so I decided to grow. Yeah, decided to glue. Sick of the loss. I just got sick of the lose, so I decided to grow. Yeah, decided to glue. Sick of the loss. I just got sick of the love, so I decided to grow. Yeah, decided to grow. Sick of the lows. There's been plenty of moments that I fell in hard times. More often than not, getting faded was my lifeline. I realized that I've always struggled with change, but sometimes you gotta rearrange before you go insane. I've been doing my best to stay true to myself, put my next foot forward and smoking dope for my health. I never give up the music till I'm rolling in wealth. Some days I swear this bass is my own personal hell. Well, I love the sound of the city, goddamn I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me, I feel better when you got my back, yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high, I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you. I confess I'm obsessed with the sex, heart palpitations every time that she texts. I admit that we ain't always been the best for each other, but what is love without the little test? Girl, you know you're my sneaky link. When I'm with you, my ego shrink. I'm just craving time for us alone. I think about you every time I'm home smoking dope. I love the sound of the city, goddamn I love the sound of the city. Yeah, yeah. I'm wide awake when you're with me, I feel better when you got my back, yeah. Red eyes, I'm sky high, I think this might be the best night that I've ever had, that I've ever spent with you.
What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Yeah, happy Friday. I don't know. It's kind of raining outside and not really. Weather's kind of sucking because it's about to be winter. But lots of movement on the charts. Lots to talk about. Going to go over the trading call I gave for patrons last night and kind of give my thoughts on it, where I think we're headed. Also, going to do the normal SPX, DXY, all that beforehand. And then last, I'm going to kind of finalize with some announcements, some big things I'm going to try and do in 2024. Not try to do, but I'm going to do in 2024, as well as the new exchange partnership. I'm sure you guys have seen the tweets, but figured I'd just talk about it. I know some people have their, for whatever reason, concerns. Some people are excited. I don't know. We're just going to cover everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me. What's up, yes, sir? How's it going, man? I'm doing good. Went to the gym a little late. And I'm going to make fried chicken here in like the next hour. What's up, Steve? Yeah, my Thanksgiving honestly wasn't like great just because like I couldn't really eat. I had acid reflux, so I couldn't eat any food. But like always nice to see family and whatnot. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving too. All right, let's get into the TA and do all this stuff, and then we'll get on to all the other important stuff. So SPX at resistance. It seems like a lot of things are at resistance and a lot of things are at support. What I mean by things, I mean all of the markets we want to be bullish are unfortunately at resistance and did not break out yet, and all of the markets or indexes that are at support and we want to break down are not or haven't yet. One thing I am concerned of, is this a double top? For me personally, no, because there's just too much of a distance between the left bottom and the confirmation point and then that right top. So I don't think it's a double top. I think we kind of bull flag and then break out. Again, crypto has not corrected. I still, even though I'm long, I still have in the back of my mind, like, we need that correction if we're going to continue to the 40,000s, 50,000s, whatever. If this was Bitcoin, I'd say something like this would make a lot of sense. But if we just blow through it, that's fine too. That's happened before. Moving on. DXY. So big, I guess, pullback, kind of. We still haven't retested prior support as resistance yet, so looking at that still as an option, but ultimately I still think we're going to 101. Again, my thought process is if we do retest, this means that crypto, SPX, all of the indexes we want to be bullish and move up will likely have some correction so they can continue their uptrends. Onward to total. It's hard to say this is a breakout. Again, this isn't a major level. I just kind of makeshift drew a bull flag. Ultimately, looking really good consolidation wise. I currently don't really like this close. However, close for the markets is in like 30 minutes. So, not taking PPIs. What do you mean by PPIs? Oh, like antacids? I did just buy Prevacid because whenever I drink, for some reason, like not for some reason, I know why the reason is, but whenever I drink and eat kind of like not super healthy, I get acid reflux, and I just like wasn't prepared or haven't accepted that, and now I take Prevacid especially if I know I'm gonna drink. But this is really nice consolidation. I really can't find anything like on the daily or weekly that's bearish here, especially with total. If this was any chart, even if it was a DXY, I'd say this is going to continue upwards. However, we could still continue to move sideways. Let's check out like RSI and whatnot. Yeah, so I still think it's kind of likely we continue sideways and then move upwards. But again, that next upward move is likely going to put in, that bearish divergence. And I know that's kind of a ridiculous move right there. So let's make it more realistic. Like that would put in bearish divergence. So I think we put in bear divs, then have a larger correction. Again, it's not so clear on the daily because you could argue that there's a lot of bullish consolidation on the daily. Just drink water. That's not how you fix that. Yeah, and like acid reflux is not a big deal. It's very easy to treat. Simply drinking water doesn't solve the problem, unfortunately. I wish it did. If it did, I drink a lot of water. So tether dominance. Gonna look at the weekly again. I still think we were just retesting prior support as resistance. Still think we're going to go back down to 6%, around the 6%, 5.8% area. If we do continue to hang around this prior support level turning into resistance again, you'll see that correction on Bitcoin. So onward to Bitcoin. Really hard to call this a breakout, right? I don't have this as a zone. We haven't revisited this zone in forever. Again, the volume isn't that high. It's really hard to say any of this is a breakout at the moment, especially on the weekly. On the daily, so 38K has been acting as resistance, but on this breakout, and this is my cause for concern, we have average volume, right? Volume is no higher than it has been in the past. So are we even at resistance yet? Because let me show you guys something, and maybe you'll find value in this, maybe you won't. In 2021, we had this huge upward move, right? And ultimately, we kind of went up, moved sideways, and had a couple upward days. A lot of people thought that, we were going to blow through 50K, get to 60, and start that bull run again. And it was on low volume. And we ended up, ultimately having one of the largest red candles we've had in quite a while. So not saying that exact scenario is going to happen, but if volume doesn't start to pick up, and I can show you another example of where this has happened, things aren't looking good. And then here's my second example. You could consider this sideways, consolidation, but again, we're moving up as that volume's going down, and we get those dreaded, red candles ultimately turning into that head and shoulders reversal, especially if you bought, anywhere like up here. And with that said, I remember this day like it was the back of my hand, unfortunately. We moved all the way to like 12,000, 12,100, 12,200. And in the middle of the night, we dumped 20%. It was crazy, right? Almost 20%. I know it's about 14, 15%. It was pretty crazy. And again, that low volume, we were attempting to break out of this 11 to 12K resistance, ultimately making 12K the true resistance, where we thought was resistance here. Again, these big red candles, when you have low volume like this, are very likely. And if you don't have the confidence of that uptrend, supported by volume, of course, you might just get a huge sell, right? And this is my point. If we do get a huge sell, let's say we go all the way down to here and then we bounce, right? This whole thing is just sideways, right? Like now we have the true resistance. Now we have the true range. But the problem is, if you're long right now, how do you know when that happens? Like, when do you know? And fortunately, you can look at lower time frames for a little bit of an estimate, but sometimes it just randomly happens. Again, on the 4-hour, we have that kind of low volume. And if you are long, I'll show you guys where we longed. But if you are long, this is a cause for concern. You have a bottom here, and now you have a potential top here, and volume's going down. I'd argue there are no divergences yet. Again, no divergences yet. So we could, see something like that. But it's still a cause for concern that volume's low. And then on the 1 hour. So we ended up taking the trade yesterday morning, or even yesterday evening. There was this potential double bottom here. We ended up confirming it. Volume looked pretty nice. I ended up getting in at like 37.6. So, we're up, almost 3%. It's not a big number. Certainly if you have an account of size and you're trading leverage, 3% is nice. But ultimately, it's not the greatest, right? Like, I wanted to see this go to 40, 42,000 and then take profits there, look to take profits there. Now, if you're looking at the 1 hour, you're like, oh, what do you mean? Volume looks great. But you have to remember, higher time frame charts outweigh lower time frames. So when we look at the 4 hour and volume's going down as we're breaking, especially this area that's acted as resistance several times, that's not necessarily a good sign. And that's kind of why we're pulling back now. I will open up the 30-minute. Again, you could kind of argue that this is looking like a double top. I personally think it's going to consolidate and continue higher. I hope it does. That's my hope. I hate trading off hope. But ultimately, my stop losses are just below 38,000. So if we do get that invalidation, at least we walk away with profit. Yeah, I'll take a look at BNB for you. Late playing Fortnite. Are you playing no build or are you playing build? The US indexes and gold had a parabolic moves. Yes, they did. Pretty wild parabolic moves as well. Okay, so I'm going to look at... I'll do BNB last, just because I want to keep discussing Bitcoin. I don't want to backtrack and get off task here. And then I'll look at BNB after we do Bitcoin dominance. So one thing I do like, again, considering that this is consolidation, we have low volume. Again, I'm really not concerned until we lose that 38K. We're going into the weekend. It's likely going to be low volume. You know, you guys know what happens on the weekly or on the weekend. We usually just do this the whole time. So that'd be really good. It would invalidate that double top and really put in that that consolidation to continue. But again, higher time frames. You gotta be careful of this stuff, right? Like we could easily tanker off here. So if you are long, ignore MACD, ignore RSI. Like, look at volume here. This is not where you want to be. We need to see more volume. At least tonight, I'd like to see this head upwards. Even if it's tonight, we go all the way up and then straight down. Like, look to take profits here. Like, watch volume. If volume's really low tonight and we do something like that, like, take profits immediately. I've seen it before. It's a classic trick where everyone's out partying on Friday night and they pump it up. And, when you're drunk at the club or whatever, you're like, oh, Bitcoin's pumping, and you're drunk and you FOMO in, and then they dump it right after, right? And believe it or not, you're going to call me crazy. I've seen it happen before because I've fallen for it many years ago. Many a year ago. But that's just my thoughts on that. Going to move to Bitcoin dominance and then look at BNB. So Bitcoin dominance, for Bitcoin, this is good. For alts, this is not good. Would like to see this just continue moving higher. If for those of you that don't know, Bitcoin dominance and Bitcoin have been moving, in the same way. Bitcoin dominance ultimately bottom has moved up. Bitcoin has bottomed at 15,500. That has moved up with Bitcoin dominance. To me, that's telling me that Bitcoin is taking dominance away from alts, and we've likely bottomed. Does that mean that alts have bottomed? Not necessarily. I do believe we're kind of at the stage now where alts have bottomed. We'll see probably another big rally by Bitcoin somewhere between the middle of next year, where again, we're taking that dominance away from alts. Maybe we do something like this, and then at that point, alts have officially bottomed. We'll probably start to take control of the bull market. We'll start, again, you're talking 2025, maybe like late 2024, 2025. If I were to give a timestamp on it, again, I don't like timestamps. I don't like, telling you guys something's going to happen at a certain date. I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen in 2024. We might not see a bull market until 2028 for all anyone knows. What made me choose Tau as my horse for this race? Because I believe AI is going to lead the next bull run. I really like the fact that mathematically Tau can put in 100x and still be at or near the value of ADA, which ADA has a zero use case and was at 90 billion market cap. I know there's a lot of use case with Tau. Not going to get too far into it. But for me, the biggest thing is market cap, the mathematics, and how that works. And on top of that, just AI in general being, probably going to lead the next bull run. That's a huge technological advance. We're seeing it already in medicine with Neuralink and all the numerous other things. We're seeing it in art. We're seeing it just involved with everything. You're about to see AI get implemented into corporate jobs as well, in my opinion. I think they're going to start having AI start weeding out a lot of these people that do these really mundane jobs because AI can do it. Absolutely. But let's take a look at BNB for Steve real quick, and then we'll go over all the announcements, and then I'm going to end it. I'm sorry about the quick stream. I am so hungry, and I need to eat. So BNB, let's do a reference point here. We're down. Oh, wow. BNB only went down 73% from highs. That's wild. Again, it's an altcoin. It's hard to judge. Let's open up. Excuse me. Let's open up MACD RSI. I think as long as we stay above 179, you're good. It looks kind of like links accumulation. I mean, at some point you have to ask yourself, do you really believe, and not necessarily saying it to you, Steven, just like to everyone in general, do you really believe that Binance is going to go out of business? And I want to give you guys a different perspective because I know everyone's afraid with the whole Binance paying the fines and everything to the SEC. I think that's very, very bullish. I think it kind of cleans the slate for Binance. They got rid of their CEO. The CEO is under scrutiny. He's probably going to not serve jail time, but probably be, on house arrest for a year or so. Whether that's fair or not, I'm not trying to be the judge of that. I don't know a lot about what he's done personally. I know that there was some market manipulation, but there's market manipulation literally everywhere. Anyways, Binance gets rid of their CEO, puts a new one in, pays the fine to the SEC. To me, that says, okay, we're cleaning the slate. We want to get into the U.S. The U.S. government is also trying to implement. Oh, you know what I did just see, Steven? It's really weird looking, but it is looking like an inverted head and shoulders is forming. Sorry to interrupt. Personally, I don't. This is a weird looking one, but it's very possible. Your neckline would probably be around 260, something like that. Draw it very kind of clean there for you. But anyways, Binance is cleaning the slate. The U.S. is trying to get their whole regulatory environment solved with crypto. You have the ETFs coming in. To me, it sounds like they're trying to open the floodgates for everyone in the U.S., whether it be with Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, Bitget, BingX, whatever it is, right? And just so that you guys know, because a lot of you guys probably don't, deal with exchanges day to day like I do. A lot of these exchanges aren't allowing U.S. trading because they don't want to be fined. They don't want, now I know they're inadvertently allowing U.S. traders if you use a VPN or, you can kind of bypass with a no KYC. But the point is, they don't want to open up in the U.S. so that they're paying fines, right? They want to essentially keep their books clean so that when the day comes, they can just open for business in the U.S. They can get SEC approved and go in. That's why Bitget is really pulling out of the U.S. completely. And that's partially why I'm with another exchange, because I want to take advantage of, not only offering you guys a trading deal, especially for my U.S. traders, because a lot of you guys, it's really hard to find an exchange that's reliable, that I can trust and get a good deal on. But also, kind of lost my train of thought there. But also, I kind of just completely lost my train of thought. Sorry, I'm so hungry. But and for those who don't know, I fast for like 20 hours a day, and I just hit the point. But anyways, the point is, a lot of these exchanges are trying to keep a clean slate, so when the floodgates open, they can get involved as well. And, you always have those people that are on Twitter scaring everybody, saying, oh, Binance is going to go over. Binance is not going to go under. The reason FTX went under is because they lost everybody's money. They lost everybody, including their own. And ultimately, that led to their demise. They got greedy. Sam's an idiot. And, I mean, that guy could have had everything. Right, he got greedy and stupid and wanted to be a superhero in the trading world and just lost everybody's money. Binance isn't doing that, and a lot of these other exchanges have proof of reserve anyways, and it's validated by a credible third-party dealer. So, again, don't let this exchange. And look, I know there's always the chance that I'm wrong, and I don't want to say I'm 100% right or take everything what I say as 100%, but I'm pretty confident that Binance isn't going to go over. If they're going to pay a $4 billion fine, they're probably pretty good. Yeah, settling stuff like that is absolutely bullish. Yeah, CZ having lots of BNB in his wallet ready to invest all across the ecosystem. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But all right, Eagles or 49ers this Sunday. Vegas has 49ers as the road favorites. Dude, honestly, the Eagles, I think Brock Purdy's overrated. Like, okay, if you're a 49ers fan, I'm sorry. Like, I'm a Bengals fan, so imagine how I feel. We've literally lost our one weapon that we have. But I guess maybe I just haven't seen enough of Brock Purdy, but an injured Joe Burrow can beat him. Like, I don't know. This guy, like, I don't know. I think he's just like a little overrated, and he's good. I think he's good. I hope he keeps his spot. But he's got a lot of weapons, and he's got Christian McCaffrey, and that guy's a beast. That's like the Steelers' defense is literally who's that guy? TJ Watt or whatever. Dude, that's their whole defense is TJ Watt. It's literally TJ Watt in the Steelers' offense. So I don't know. They lost their own money and let users use other people's money too at some point. Yeah, absolutely. Like, FTX could have had it all. That guy is such an idiot. If I was in his position, just play the long game, dude. You're already a billionaire. Why do you need more money? You have everything. And you went and threw it all away. You had celebrities. You had everything. You threw it all away. And I don't think Binance is doing that. I don't think a lot of these exchanges are doing it. You think the SEC will go after Tether? I hear that a lot lately, but didn't know. I mean, I've never heard anything about. I've heard like they might. Personally, I don't know. I think Tether is. I think Tether is one of those like is kind of like a sketchy uncle. Like you don't really know, but you kind of know. I don't know. I really don't think Tether is going to go anywhere. If it does, then the whole crypto market's screwed, and I think a lot of the stock market's screwed. But I don't know. For me, like a Tether collapse would probably happen during the next bull market when the whole economy collapses, because eventually we've got to pay off all this debt, right? The debt train is going to stop at some point, and a financial reset is. I don't want to say it's going to happen next year, but probably over the next 5 to 10 years, you're looking at a large financial reset. We have to. I mean, most kids, young adults, are going to be able to afford a home, aren't going to be able to do anything. They're swimming in debt. And it's not even, I don't want to say it's not all their fault. Some of it is, but like, when you go to the grocery store and you're spending $300 on 3 bags of groceries, like, it's absurd. So, have a great meal. Oh, thanks, man. How time flies. Last year we were looking at a lot of bear flags. This year it's bull flags and DVs. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, just remember, move your stop loss. Sam will look back in 10 years and cry forever. I hope he does, dude. I hope that guy burns. Like, there are people that killed themselves because they lost everything, because they trusted him. And, but okay, onward to announcements. So, gonna just throw up a Bitcoin, 15-minute. You guys can watch it and listen to me, whatever. Couple things. So, in 2024, I've had a nice break, I guess. Kind of break. And just to kind of backtrack a little more, my ultimate goal with crypto, I mean, yes, to be a great trader, yes, to make money, yes, to do whatever, but I wanted to provide a place where people could get reliable data, quick, easy, understandable, so on and so forth. So come 2024, I'm going to restructure the Patreon stuff, and I might offer it for free for a month just so people can see. I'm not sure yet. I'm actually going to raise the second tier of Patreon from $30 to $50, and the reason being, or I'm debating it. I want some input, so if you're a patron now or you're thinking about it, give me some input. But my plan is to really deep dive. I'd like to have calls every day, where at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, when the U.S. stock market opens, I just have a Discord call, and it will be posted on Patreon every single day, where we go over market analysis, any potential trades, any swing trades, any thoughts, any financial data that's coming out. If there's a Powell speech, I'm going to pay attention to it. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my concerns, whatever it might be. We can talk real estate. You guys can give me recommendations on anything you'd like researched. If you'd like me to go over altcoins, the call would basically be about 30 minutes to an hour, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. Again, it just depends on what's going on that day. But essentially, what I do here on stream, a little bit more in depth, or probably a lot more in depth, and then just going over like really big financial events. You guys can put requests in for altcoins. Again, I want to do this with Patreon because it'll keep me motivated. It'll keep it fresh. You guys, it'll be filtered in the Discord, so everything that you ask, I can see. There's not, because the Discord is ultimately free. The main channels are free, but all the Patreon stuff, you guys are paying to be there. You're holding yourself accountable. I'm holding myself accountable, and honestly, like, I'm not, $50 a month is not horrible, right? If you stay there for 4 months, sure, it's $200. But you've learned a lot, right? You've learned a lot of how my indicators work, how my risk management works, so on and so forth. So come 2024, I'm probably going to not necessarily take a break in January, but just kind of like sort things out. And come January 1st, it's go time. Like, I'm going to reset everything and move on. Again, if you guys think this is a good idea, I kind of asked earlier, and I got a lot of positive responses. So if you're like, hey, that's too expensive, just keep it at 30. I'm willing to do that, right? I want to be fair to everybody, but I also need to be fair to myself. So I'd like to do 50. I think if I'm every single day for an hour, it's a call, it's information, it's valuable. That one trade that we get, you could make $1,000 on. I think it's worth it, right? So currently I don't. Currently I don't. I hardly charge anything. But even so, I think 50 is not horrible. Sounds awesome, actually. Oh, thank you. Best content out there, whether it's 10. I appreciate it, man. I know some traders do like Zoom meetings, but it's just for entering trades together. But this idea is way better. Yeah, essentially, like, you just go into my Discord and be a private section of the Discord. You just join, I share my screen, and I just kind of like run through it all. You would be muted, but there will be a chat, because I'd assume there's going to be 20 or 30 people. So I'm just going to have everyone but myself muted. I'll see if I can bring other people in to speak. But I really want to go into 2024 with the mindset that there's probably a bull run on the horizon. There's going to be new people coming into the market. I want to teach as many people as possible, and I want to help as many people secure profits as possible. And with that said, like, if you, like, for example, like, let's say you haven't dollar cost averaged yet, and it's, it's 2024, and you're in the Discord, like, hey, Roman, tomorrow during, we'll call it, I'm not going to call it this, but let's just call it the morning coffee. Hey, Roman, tomorrow during the morning coffee, can you go over a DCA and maybe some coins I could DCA in, and maybe why to DCA in them, or what their use case is? And I could go, sure. You should always do Bitcoin and Ethereum because they're the most secure, but maybe look into some AI coins like Tau, Ajax, ICP, FET, so on and so forth, because AI is going to be, or likely going to lead the next bull run. Now, again, I know it sounds really simple. It's going to be way more in depth than that, but essentially this is a call every single day. Now, I will say, and I will put a disclaimer, sometimes on Fridays during the summer, we might not have the call because I go fishing with my dad. Probably won't do the call on Saturdays and Sundays just because the market's not open, and let's be real, the market really doesn't do anything. The chat will always be open though, and ultimately just trying to provide as much value as I can, try to give you guys like what you deserve, and try to keep myself in the loop, of course. Or there are people out there pay $1,000 for classes with people that don't know anything. $50 for content you give is really nice. Really appreciate it. So I think, unless I get a lot of messages that are like $50 is a scam, you're a scam. I've fortunately never gotten that before. Then I'll tone it down. But I don't know. I gotta keep myself. I have to be fair to myself and fair to you guys. And I think that's pretty fair. But yeah, that's my plan for the next announcement. So I've recently partnered with BingX. and just kind of stepping back from there. I'm still partnered with Bitget, and I'm still partnered with Coincatch. There's still, there's that partnership's still there. You guys can still get percentage off fees. But the whole point with BingX, there aren't a lot of places where Americans can trade, especially U.S. and Canada. BingX is one of those places you can. Same deal with Bitget. If I get anything, and I have a lot of people on the inside with BingX that moved over from Bitget. Part of the reason why we moved to BingX is because Bitget's really leaning out of the U.S. And I think that the U.S. is a ginormous market to tap into, and now's kind of the chance to get into it, just from a business perspective. But also, I have a lot of, I call them close friends or trustworthy friends, and when they're on the inside on BingX, they're going to let me know if something weird's happening. They're going to say, hey, this is weird. You might want to do something, and I will relay that information to you guys. I'm not saying that will happen, but if it does, that'll happen. Again, a couple other reasons: proof of reserves, no slippage with liquidity. That means if you have a stop loss, it will trigger. Great UI. It's similar to Bitget, and also I secured a 20% off fees. So it's the largest percent off of any exchange that's offered by me. I don't know if anyone offers 20% off fees, but I really secured that. It took a couple of days to get that, to work that out. Again, I want to give back as much as I can to you guys. I think you deserve the world. You've supported me. I'm trying to support you. And like I said earlier in today's Discord, I know some people have had some problems with BingX. Like any exchange, there are people that have problems with Binance. There are people that have problems with Bitget. But if I do get any word, and this is similar to Mexi, I was partnered with Mexi. I got word that something weird was happening, and I fucking left because I can promise you this: I will never fuck you guys over. Like, you guys have helped me kind of achieve my dream of providing analysis to the public by keeping me, sharp on charts. Because I could do this, I could just trade by myself and whatnot and do this and that. But I think that having all the Patreon, having the Twitter, having everything, you guys interacting with everything, it keeps me sharp, it keeps me going, it keeps me motivated, especially, when times are tough and everyone's trolling or so on and so forth. So again, partner with them if you're interested. Check out the link in the description below. If you're already with BingX and you would like the discount, send me a DM on Discord or Twitter and I can get you that discount. Guys, with all that said, I'm going to answer this question real quick. Grease Room. The tier 2 Patrons will still pay the same or have to pay an extra $20. Not there's a problem. So yeah, I'll probably get rid of the tier 2 because I think with Patreon you can't just change the price. I'm going to see if I can change it. But yeah, you'd be paying $20 extra. But again, you're every single day, dude. It's 9:30 and it will be posted on Patreon for you to watch. So, again, if there's a problem there, let me know. I'm more than happy to take people's consideration and keep it the same price. But honestly, I kind of feel, to be fair to myself, especially if it's going to be every day, all the time, charging a little bit more, it doesn't hurt, right? It keeps everybody being fair. But guys, with all that said, I'm going to end it there. I need to go eat.